Subhanallah. Allah. Ya Allah. Allah. Allahu Akbar. Allah.
Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to the World of Islam, coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States of America. From Denmark to China, from Australia to Argentina, from the USA to the UK, there are more than 1.5 billion Muslims in the world today. The religion of Islam is the fastest growing religion on earth, but unfortunately, the true nature of Islam is often misrepresented and misunderstood. So I invite you to join us as we travel throughout the world of Islam and give you the opportunity to know the truth about Islam and the truth about Muslims. You are now entering the world of Islam. And welcome back to the world of Islam. Our travels to the world of Islam have brought us to Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States of America. And I'm joined by one of my brothers in Islam, Saeed Al-Amin. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
And it's really nice to meet you, and thank you for agreeing to sit with us
Sure, it's a
and
pleasure
talk with
being
us
here.
about Islam in America.
Sure.
Brother Saeed, just tell us a bit about yourself and your background, how you came to Islam.
Well, I guess if I had to take it way back, when I was a child, my parents, of course, they're Christian, and they would send me to Sunday school, and I would go to Sunday school and go to church and everything. And as a child, there were just some things that didn't sit right, didn't sit well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an analytical person by nature,
Mm-hmm.
and I analyze things, and I go through a certain series of checks and balances.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I continued to get older, I had all of these questions, you know,
Mhm.
about God and about Jesus and about other things.
Mm-hmm.
And
But what are some of the questions you had, and who did you approach with these questions? To try
well,
to...
I went directly to the. If you want an answer, you go directly to the source or the head of the organization, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go to preachers, and I would interview preachers, and I would want to know about the Trinity. I would want to know about original sin, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And the answers I would get just didn't fulfill me.
Mm-hmm.
I would be told things like, well, listen with your spiritual ears, and you need to understand with your spiritual mind and these things, but that never gave me an answer.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I continued to get older and interview more preachers, it just continued to just spiral down. I wasn't satisfied. At an early age, I just could
And
not.
it's unique that you say you went to interview preachers as
Yes.
opposed to go to ask them questions.
Well, interviewing because I was looking for a church home. There was something inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
There was a yearning that I was searching for something. I didn't know exactly what it was. It was Islam all the time, but that was my path. I was on that journey, and I didn't know it. And so as I continued to interview and do my research and things, one day on the radio, I heard a gentleman by the name of Dr. Al-Mansur.
Mm-hmm.
He was speaking about Islam, and I thought, okay, he's going to talk about the Nation of Islam thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this Islam he was talking about was different, something I had never heard.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to be doing a book signing at a store. So I went to the store, and I listened to his lecture. And what he was saying, it struck me. I said, this is what I have been looking for all of my life. I've never heard about this. And so after that, he took the time to sit down and talk with me and autograph my book and everything. And I read his book. We went through the whole thing. And after that, he challenged me. He said, well, you need to find a mosque or go to a bookstore and read the Quran. He said, just read it. It'll explain some things to you. Things that the answers you couldn't get in Christianity, you'll find them in Islam. Like a light bulb turned on. Just all of my questions answered. And again, being analytical, I said, well, I'm going to look into this thing and see if I can find any faults. There has to be something wrong. And the more I delved into it and looked into it, the more.
At that point, you were looking into it, you thought there had to be something inside of it wrong.
Well, there was something definitely wrong with Christianity from my standpoint. And so I'm like, okay, Islam so far everything is on point. That, you know, nothing strays away from what I think is true and direct. And as I read the Quran, that's when I truly could understand the Bible. Things that were left out, or things that had been changed, the Quran it clarified everything.
Can you just explain that a bit more?
Well, for instance, things of the Trinity, of Jesus' birth, how the disciples, they were not called Christians until later on when Paul did his thing, and that's when, you know, Christians became Christians, and the Council of Nicaea and all these type of things. So and finding out about that, the way I found out about that was through other studies and looking into it and everything. But Islam just really opened the doors to just a brand new way of life for me.
And how was it when you completed the Quran? At what point was it that you decided that you were ready to be Muslim?
I read a part in the Quran where Allah said that this day He has bestowed His favor upon us and chosen Islam as our religion. It also says in the Quran that in the Quran is a book for guidance, you know, of surety, you know, for all those who believe. And once you read the Quran, you have two options. You can either accept it or you can reject it. But once that truth comes to you, you can't reject it. The truth is the truth.
And how did you proceed to taking Shahada and actually becoming Muslim?
What I did, after I finished the Quran, believe it or not, that next month was the beginning of Ramadan. And so I found a mosque, and I went to the Jummah. Went to the Jummah, and that's where they started telling me about Ramadan and how to fast and to read Quran and all these things. And so I went through my whole 28 days of fasting and whatnot.
Were you a Muslim at that time or not?
At the end of Ramadan, I took my Shahada. I took my Shahada.
So you were fasting in the month of Ramadan, but
Yes.
you weren't Muslim?
I've been a Muslim all my life, I just didn't know it.
Right, right. Now, is anybody else in your family Muslim?
No, but my oldest sister sends her children to an Islamic school.
Okay, and why is that?
Some of the things, people will tell you things, but they don't want other people to know. They will say, I know that this is the truth, but I am too old to change my ways. And so when you hear that, you know, you can do dawah. You can let people know. You can tell them about Easter and about Christmas and about Halloween and about these things. And they know that that is the truth. But, you know, everyone has to make that personal choice and that decision. But when someone tells you, well, I know that this is the truth, Islam is the truth, what you guys say and preach and practice is the truth, but I'm too old to change my ways, you know, Allah knows best.
Right. Now, how long have you been Muslim?
15 years.
Okay, so what has your life been like as a Muslim here in America?
You know, it's been challenging to a point, but at the same time, it's been very enlightening because people want to find out, well, why did you change, you know, and become Muslim? What led you there? And basically the thing, I tell them is like I told you in the beginning, I couldn't get the answers to my questions about Christianity. It never added up to me. The Trinity never added up. You know, Jesus being God, that never added up. Jesus dying for everyone's sin, you know, those things just didn't satisfy me. After I, you know, read Quran and I found out about all this stuff and about the way things really are, I mean, it shedded the light, made me feel a lot better. And then when I share it with other people, they agree with me. Well, yeah, you know, I agree with you. You know, that sounds right. So you want to become Muslim? I don't know. I have to think about it. You know, so you know, subtly, I give that dawah.
The people you know, you know, may say they have to think about it. What are the kind of misconceptions you think that they may have about Islam, and from the questions they ask you?
Believe it or not, here in the South,